Well, welcome again to another episode of Finding Purpose with Seyi. You're welcome, and this is going to be another session, of talking about real issue, life issue, finding purpose in what we go through in life. And this is our Valentine edition about talking about love, talking about marriage, talking about being single, talking about what we go through in life, talking about our life experiences, either as a single or either as being married. So that is all about, and I'm so excited when we talk about that, because then those are real life issues that we discuss, that we talk about, and we find purpose in all that we do. So I'm real excited. So get everybody on board. Let's start today's episode while I wait for my guest to come in and bring my guest forward. My name is Seyi. If it's the first time that you're watching us, I'm Seyi. I'm a transformational coach. I'm also a grief recovery specialist. I help people find purpose in all that I do in life and in all that I love to do in life. It's to help people find purpose from what they're doing, put in their life, and making sure that they achieve all that they have been created to do. And that's all that we do on this show, and all that I help people do to help them find purpose. So we find purpose in what we've gone through in life. We find purpose with what we feel, we know, what we're passionate about. We find purpose. And before we go into our interview today, so welcoming everybody that is joining us for the first time, welcoming everybody, all our guests, that come in every week. So if you're here, it's the first time, or you've been joining us as usual, give StreamYard your access so that I can get to see your name. I love seeing names and reading comments about you. So prepare your questions so that then we can answer questions. But today, before I bring my guest in, I wanted to actually ask, and just is a reflective thing, which I want you to think about it. I get a lot of times when people, kind of see other people that are succeeding in one thing or the other. Is it that they're succeeding in their marriages, they're succeeding in their dreams, in their purposes, they're succeeding in a lot of things, and they wonder, why am I not doing this? Why am I not the one having this accolade? Why am I not the one being given the title? Why am I not the one, getting the promotion and all that? But I keep telling people, and I just want to share this because this week I've been talking to a few people, and that was, something that came up all through the conversation. Nothing comes for free. And one of the things that you need to start thinking about is, are you living another person's dream, or are you living your dream? Nothing just falls on people's laps, even your purpose. Even the purpose that you're sure that this is what God has called you to do, nothing just falls on your lap. You have to work it out. You cannot afford, to be discouraged by your purpose, because even the people that are close to you might want to discourage you. So I just want to just put this out, because this is coming up. Your purpose, what you are, what you are birthing in your life. I've just launched a course that we have started, which is Finding Purpose. It's a 6-week course. But I found out that a lot of people just assume that purpose just happened. Just assume that by just praying, things will just align. No, my dear, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You have to work your purpose. You have to work your dream. Sometimes you are discouraged. Sometimes people that you think would just support you will not believe in your vision. Sometimes, they will not even, they don't believe it's something that they can walk up to, and just support you. You can never be discouraged at your purpose. Whatever purpose you have in your life, whatever purpose God has given to you, you need to trade it, and you need to be able to bet on yourself. Bet on yourself and tell people that even if you don't believe me, I believe in myself. And bet on yourself by putting money in your vision, by going for the training that you need. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the purpose that within you that's your purpose. But before then, the question is, do you know your purpose? Or are you living the purpose of another person? Are you servicing another person? Don't get me wrong. There are some times that we need to support the vision of somebody. There are some times that we need to serve under the vision or the purpose of some other person. But while we are doing all that, are you nurturing your purpose? Are you nurturing what God has put in your hands to do? Or are you just serving another man's vision? And by the time you wake up and smell the coffee, time has gone. By the time you realize it, it doesn't work anymore. So I've had this conversation over the past few days, while we're doing all the finding purpose. And it just occurred to me that, is that how a lot of people are thinking? The purpose will not just fall on your lap. Your purpose in life, it doesn't matter. Whatever purpose you believe in that God has given you, you need to nurture it. You need to bet on yourself. You need to guard yourself against disappointment, against discouragement, against what people say, against naysayers that says you cannot make it. Cover yourself. Go forth with your dream, with your purpose. Pay the price. Pay whatever price you have to pay to get it. Because the people that you're seeing that they're achieving much in life, that they're the people that you envy, they didn't just wake up and it happened. No, they walked it. Are you ready to walk your vision? Are you ready to walk the purpose that you have been given? Are you ready to do that? You need to be able to walk that purpose that is in your hands. You need to be able to walk that purpose that you believe is been given to you to do. I was talking to somebody and I just also want to reiterate this. This is so passionate before we go into the interview today, because I've just had a lot of people discuss this and we've been walking through this. The dream that you're having, the purpose that you're having is a picture and a blueprint of your purpose and your potential. You keep seeing that picture. You keep seeing that blueprint. You might not look at it. You might wonder, I keep seeing myself speaking with large audiences and everything around you doesn't look like it. Believe it. Walk it. Believe it, walk your purpose. That picture that you're seeing every day, that picture that you have with you that keeps coming, that picture of the purpose of your potential, of what you believe, keep on doing it. Keep on walking it, because it won't just fall. It won't just fall on your lap. And there are different common reasons why people don't identify their dreams or their purpose. Some people are discouraged. They've been discouraged. They've told somebody, I think I can do this. And they've shut them down. They've discouraged them. They said, I don't believe you can do it. I don't believe you have that ministry. I don't believe you can. You speak so well. Can you even look at the way you speak and say your English? I don't believe you can do. And they've been discouraged several times. Don't allow discouragement to stop you from achieving that purpose God has given to you. Nurture it. Not whatever purpose it is, nurture. There's so much about finding purpose. Once you find purpose, your life goes on a different level. Something changes in you once you find purpose. Another reason why people do not identify their dream or their purpose is because they have been disappointed. They're disappointed. They've been disappointed several times. They've gone through several disappointments in their lives. And because of that, they are finding it very difficult to actually identify their dream, identify their purpose. Another reason why a lot of people do not identify their purpose or their dreams in life is because they have settled in their life to become average people. They've looked upon their life and said, I cannot do it. No, I cannot do it. They are not ready to pay the price. They are not ready to be that person to say, yes, I paid the price and tell the story afterwards. They have relegated themselves to that average level that I cannot be better than this. If you're listening to me, and before we go into the interview, I just wanted to just take this short 15 minutes or thereabout to just talk about finding your purpose and putting that your dream, nurture it to get what God has put in your life. Don't settle for average. It doesn't matter. Other people might not believe you. Don't settle. It is worse when other people do not believe you. But do you know the worst thing? The worst one is when you don't believe in yourself. When you do not believe in yourself. So don't settle for average. Another reason why other people do not identify their dreams is the lack of confidence. They don't have the confidence to pursue their dreams. They don't have that confidence, to get all that God has put in them, to say, I don't care. I would do it anyway. I would do it being afraid. I would do it being scared. I would do it, even though I do not understand, I will still do it. Let no one kill your confidence. No. Tell yourself, wake up every morning and tell yourself, I can do it. I'm better than this. The future is bright. I've got so much. So just imagine that all you have now is just a month, a year. What excuse would you give? Would your excuse be, I was afraid, I was shy, I cannot do it? No. No, let your children, let your spouse, let your generation look at you and wonder and say, wow, she had so much confidence within herself and she was able to do it. Are there times when you will feel scared? Yes. Are there times when you need to pat yourself behind and say, oh, yes. Are there times when you make mistakes? Yes. Are there times when you will not be able to understand what you're doing? Yes, but you still be able to pull yourself together and have the confidence to fulfill your purpose and have the confidence to tell yourself, Seyi, I can do this. At least it's worth trying. At least it's worth giving it all my best. Are you ready to do that? One of the things that you can use to test whether your purpose that you think you're having, there's so many. Does that purpose, does it feel right with you? Do you feel right about that purpose, about that dream? Or there's still something that doesn't sit well? Check within yourself. This year, 2021, is a year, like I said, God gave me that word. It's a year, it's called restored to manifest. Restored to manifest. He's restored you. He's given you all that he knows that you're capable of. But are you ready to do it? Are you ready to take the ground? Are you ready to take the nation? Are you ready to take that stage? Are you ready to be that person that everybody's waiting for? So does that dream, does that purpose sit right with you? Does that purpose that you're chasing, does it give you wings? Does it create wings in your spirit to fly? These are things that you can ask yourself and just ponder and say, oh, this purpose that I want to fulfill, am I in the right path? Does that purpose, does that dream provide wings to your spirit? Or it doesn't? Does it fire you up? Does this purpose, does it fire you? That dream that you keep having, does it create that fire, that burning fire in you to fulfill it? Or does it just allow you to just, I don't care? No, your purpose, your dream must fire you up because a lot of people are waiting for you. You see that sense of urgency for you to be able to get things done, because like we know on Finding Purpose with Seyi, our mantra is the whole world is waiting for the manifestations of the sons of God. Does this purpose or this dream that you have, does it keep you up at night while other people are sleeping? Does it, do you feel that sense that I need to get up and get things done at night? You need to ask yourself, because this purpose is waiting for you. God cannot force you. God is not, he said, I've given to you life. You need to be the one to choose. You need to be the one to pursue because he's giving you the land already. Are you going to wait till the end of December 2021 and wonder, oh God, I should have started? No. Does your dream, does your purpose keep you up at night? Does it take you out of your comfort zone? If you have told me some few years ago that I'm going to, be doing live, be speaking at engagement and all that, maybe not really. I always like to be, just hiding, just doing things, and getting things done at the background. But purpose will allow you, will take you out of your comfort zone. For everyone that is just joining us, thank you for joining us on Finding Purpose with Seyi. I'm just taking some few time to just talk about this, before we bring our guest on, talking about marriage, talking about purpose in marriage. So does it take you out of your comfort zone? Does it take you out of your comfort zone? You need to think about that, because you need to be able to test yourself and test your dream. Because I'm all about purpose. Because once you fulfill your purpose, I fulfill my purpose, we become that synergy that can change things. Does that purpose, does it give a fulfillment to you? It should. So these are the things that you need to check and test your purpose and test your dream. Do you feel that you are made for a time like this? You are made for that particular purpose. Do you feel that? So I just wanted to just start up with this, because this kind of gives the sedimental, element to even whether it's marriage, whether it's parenting, whether it's whatever it is. My guest I'm just going to bring her in very soon, but because it gives that background to you, it gives that background to everything. Once you understand it, it makes a lot of things easy. So I just wanted to just use this 15 minutes to just get this done and fire somebody up and put that fire in your bum bum or under your bum bum, wherever your bum bum is, to say, get up and get things done, because the old generation is waiting for you. We need to come together and move things and shake mountains and move mountains. He said, if anybody speaks unto this mountain, be it moved, it will be moved. So somebody must speak. Are you speaking? Or waiting for somebody to speak for you? And don't forget my question that I will leave you with before I bring my guest in. My guest is very special and we're waiting for her. Are you serving another dream, another person's dream? Or are you pursuing your own dream? There's a time to serve, there's a time to learn, there's a time for nurturing, but there's also a time for manifestation. And I believe strongly that 2021 is a time for manifestation, a time to get things done, because everybody is waiting for us. So thank you, everybody that has joined. Please, I need to see your name. Give StreamYard access. Let me see your name. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm bringing my guest on now. I'm always very excited when I'm talking about purpose. So I'm just bringing everybody your like. Yeah, I'm bringing her in. How are you, sis? How are you? So nice. I think you're muted though. You're muted. We can't hear you. Yes.
All right.
Good. we are so we are so excited to have you here today.
I'm also so excited to be part of this great life and destiny changing program. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thanks Shay, for all you
Thank you.
do.
Thank you. Before you came here, I was just talking about I think you need to unmute some of your mic because it's giving feedback. I don't know whether it's you have two of them there.
Okay. Okay.
No, so before you came in, I was just quickly
Better.
talking about finding purpose, and fulfilling our purpose, in life, and that I just wanted to just take that minute. So sorry for delaying you a bit, but I just what just led to actually share that with our viewers before we go into the crux of the matter. So viewers, send all your emojis and all that, let's do all what we do on the show, welcoming our guest. And I'm going to read her profile and she will also tell us a bit about herself. She's going to tell us a bit about herself. So it's a long list. I'm just going to just paraphrase some. So here with us today, we have got Pastor Nike Ajayi. She's a trained family life practitioner, a wife, a mother, a pastor, and a businesswoman of repute. She is the wife of the pastor in charge of the RCCG Penel Pavilion Zonal Headquarters, and also doubles as the wife pastor in charge of the young adults and youth. RCCG Lagos Province 7, together with her husband, they pastor all the youth in over 120 parishes of the province. Wow. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, 120 youths, 120 parishes? Wow. She's a trained family life coach and a marriage counselor with the following organization: the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, Nigeria; the Rising Oak Ministry, Canada; the Institute of Marriage and Family Affairs, USA; the RCCG National Family Affairs Unit. Nike and her husband founded the that's Relationship Essentials and Life Matters. REM warehouses. There are two groups: the post-wedding counselor and the single haven, and the marriage match minder. And I'm going to stop that, just to get to, because I was just reading about it, like, wow, what an impressive profile we have today. So we have we're privileged to have you here today. So I know I've read a bit about it, but just tell us more. Who are you apart from all what we see in the profile? Just tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and want to welcome all the viewers. Thanks for joining in here. And I take this as a huge privilege to share this stage with you. I'm Nika Ajayi, as you rightly said, and I'm passionate about purpose. First, my life, myself as an individual, my marriage, my family, and the ministry God has given unto us. Because I realized that the journey, for me, the journey of purpose started on the first day that I agreed to 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 go into courtship with my husband. I remembered when we started. Back then, thank God we shared the same school. Back then in Unad, and on that day that I said yes to him in courtship, then we were both in school. It was precisely 22nd of November at about 8 p.m. in the night. And I said yes, and he grabbed my hand and he said, let's go to long tennis lawn to go and long tennis lawn to go and pray. And that was the beginning of a clarity of purpose. I prayed, yes, but I saw the prayer manifest almost immediately. And that was when we started the intentional journey of purpose that I've just. I remember on that day of prayer, was the word that your marriage will be a role model to other homes. And it was very loud and clear. I said it, my husband confirmed it also. And the first day of our courtship was the day the journey of purpose started for us. And God has been faithful. God has been faithful so far. So I'll stop there.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I like that, because you said, oh, from that day, from that day of finding, you're going into courtship is the beginning of purpose for you. And I know that by the time by the end of this interview, a lot of people will understand what that means, because, and the connection, I think where I'm going to start from is, what is the connection between, because somebody will ask me that, oh, Seyi, is all about finding purpose. What was marriage coming into this? So I think the starting place that we're going to start today is, what is the correlation between purpose and marriage? I think it's a network. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, she's coming on. So we're just, for everybody joining us, this is Finding Purpose with Seyi. Yeah, you're back. You're back. So the question is, can you hear me? I think our network is playing on, but that's fine. We'll get through it. Today is an exciting session, and I know that whatever the enemy is doing that will not get this done is a lie. No, we're going to get this done, because
Hello,
we believe so much that this episode will set a lot of families free. So I believe so much on today's episode, just like every other episode that we have here. It will be life transforming today. Yeah. You're
Can you
back
hear
with
me
us. I
now?
can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah. So my first question is, what is the relationship between purpose and marriage? What is the correlation between purpose and marriage? Yeah. Can you hear me, Sid?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think she's having a problem with her network. Yeah, bear with us. Yeah, we are virtual, so we just need to work with all the challenges of being virtual. So bear with us. Yeah, I can hear you. If you can't hear me,
Hello?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I think it's better.
Okay.
Oh, you're
So I said, what is the purpose? What is the correlation between purpose and marriage?
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You're welcome. Yeah, this is Finding Purpose with Seyi, where we talk about real issue, and we discuss things that can change life. We're just walking through our guest with my guest today, which her name is Pastor Nikki Ajayi. She's having a little bit of network issue, but we will get around this episode because this episode is going to transform lives. I believe so much about it today. So just bear with us while she's working on that network and his network. Can you hear me? You might need to log out and log in again if that will help. You might need to log out and log in again. We can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. So today's episode, we're talking about finding purpose with in marriage, and we're going to be talking both in marriage and also as being a single. Also, we're going to be talking about relationship, and we're going to be walking through, with my guest today. So I think we're having technical issues, but not to worry because we are going to have this, and I'm sure we are going to have this today. So for everyone that is joining, bear with us. We are going to get this done. But it's so important, And if you have any questions, or comments, as we go along, please send it and let's share, let's discuss together. What are the challenges that you are having, in terms with relationship? If you're married, what are the challenges that you're having? If you're single, what are the challenges that you're having, especially at this time, of with the lockdown, what challenges are you having? What things, have you seen, that you want us to address today? And if you have been married for so many years, because I know a lot of people also have been married for so many years, what would you wish you've known, having been married now? What are those things that you've walked through that you want to prevent, from doing that? Those are the things that we want to talk about today so that we can help people, that are going through one thing or the other, to walk through this journey of marriage, of courtship, of finding the right spouse, and also fulfilling purpose. Those are the things that we need, to walk through today. So if you have any question or any comment or any, or anything that will help us together, as we delve through this issue, yeah, just bring them on. Let's talk about this issue so that we can get this on. The network is playing, but I won't let that move me at all. I won't let that move me at all. So I'm just going to just walk. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you. I'm just bringing her back in. Just bear with me. Thank you. Thank you for me. Thank you. You have seen that. Good to have you here, Pastor. Thank you. Okay, I'm bringing her back again. Let's see whether we can have that. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Hello. Very well, very
Oh,
well.
fantastic. Okay.
The devil is a liar. I hope
You're a liar. We'll have this done.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what really went wrong with the
That's okay. That's okay. So, like the first question, I said, what is the correlation between purpose and marriage?
wow. All right. And it's like for me, the correlation between purpose and mind is like trying to separate and like a Siamese twin or I would like to say a conjoined twin. One way or the other, they're together, or a set of twins in the same bowel or in the same what we call placenta. Because we realize that a marital decision that is not deliberately taken can alter or delay destiny. Can alter or delay destiny. Why do I say that? It does not mean that without marriage you cannot fulfill purpose. But what it means is that why would you want to struggle being wounded when you can actually partner with God to go into it and get it right from day one? So when
Hmm.
it comes to marriage and purpose, it is not to be taken lightly because you cannot set you. It's difficult to separate. Why do I say that? When we look at our lives practically, we get married from the let's say in the 20s, like from 25 upwards. So we have spent the first 25 years of our lives alone as a single and whole. You get it? So when you are spending the first 25 years with your parents, your siblings, and assuming, okay, let's say the best of our years, if somebody dies at 80, 90, it's fine. And we deduct 25 years, 20, or even 30 or 35 from 1890. That, okay, when somebody dies at 1890, it's fine. So you discover that there is more, you have spent many more years in that marital cycle that you have spent with your parents. So for me, those are the years of activation of purpose. Those are the years that you practically live the purpose. So the first few years cannot be compared with the number of years we're going to spend in marriage till we go and meet our master and you ask us that what have we done with our life. So for me, marriage defines to a very large extent purpose.
Wow, 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 wow. That's good. That's I've never thought of it like that. That the amount of time that you spend from the time that you say I do to the end is so much. So it's so important that you do it right because you're spending almost third of your life in that relationship,
Yeah.
and it's so important that you must do that purpose right, and just do it well. So I'm going forward also with that. Thank you for giving us that basis. Following finding one's purpose, how crucial, I know you've mentioned it. you know and I want you to give examples here also. How crucial is living your purpose in marriage. you know and understanding that, okay, I've got this purpose, to actually do this marriage, because a lot of people by expectation just expect that by the time you're 25 you should go into marriage. So what and if we're looking with examples here, and we're talking with examples here, what's how do we say is crucial? How do we, I'm just trying to put this well, also to link it to what you have seen, as that's the fact that the amount of time that you spend in marriage, following that. Can you give examples of both, to clarify the fact that the importance of the cruciality in finding that purpose in marriage, and also knowing that this is the fact, because I know that you've worked with a lot of people, and giving the examples of both sides, of the person getting it right and the person getting it wrong. Can you do that? Can you give us more examples?
Thank you so much. And I would also want to start with this. I would encourage your singles. Don't find your marriage don't find your purpose in marriage. Don't wait until you are married before you find your purpose. But you must ensure, you must be brutally honest with yourself, diligently work it out as a single to ensure that you have at least a guide, a map. And if, as much as it depends on you, you have already started the journey of purpose before you go into marriage. Because when you have your purpose defined, it will help you have an idea of who you should settle for. As a lady, you don't just go for anything in thousands, regardless of whatever the person carries. And I always use the book of Ezekiel 27, Ezekiel 27, 8 as an example. When God was talking about the valley of the dry bones, and the revelation showed that Ezekiel, when he spoke and in the direction of the word of God, those dry bones got up. And the Bible recorded that they were exceedingly great army. But when it got to 8, the Bible recorded that the Bible says Ezekiel observed that there was no that there was no life in the exceeding great army, not in the dry bones. Before
Yeah.
Ezekiel observed, those dry bones had risen up to become exceeding great army. After they became exceeding great army, Ezekiel observed that there was no life in the exceeding great army. So what that taught me is that it is not any brother, any guy, any man that looks like a tongue talker, a demon chaser, that is the MD of the company, that is the importer, exporter, that is the IT guru, that looks like that already has a big house that is good for you. There is a power of observation that God expects every human being to have. And that observation, you can only be successful in your observation when you are dwelling in the powers of identification of purpose. If you do not know what your purpose looks like, you will not be able to observe successfully. Because anything that looks like a purpose, you'll be attracted to them. So Ezekiel observed. It was when he observed that God said, prophesy, and I will command the four winds of heaven to breathe into this army. So it was at that point that the real life got into the exceeding great army. So your real life is in identification of your purpose as a single. When you now identify your purpose as a single, some are lucky to have started the journey of the purpose so well, they're already thriving. But at least the base point for you is as a single. Who are you? What are you created to do? What problems are you created to resolve? Why are you here on earth? How do you want to get into it? And I have the four S's. I said, yes, you must understand the supreme being. There are four personalities you must engage to understand the journey of purpose into marriage. You have the supreme personality, you have the self personality. Supreme personality is You are into the supreme. You have an encounter with Jesus. You know the God you're serving. That's the supreme personality. You must have it. Then the self personality. When you see yourself, can you marry yourself with your
Mm,
strength and your weakness? Are you able to negotiate with? If you see yourself as an opposite, everything you have as an opposite, if you're a guy, if you're a lady, if you
mm-hmm.
see yourself, can you say, well done? I think I'm ready for you. Nobody wants to marry somebody that will wreck them. Then after the self personality, then the service personality. That's where your purpose is. You must understand your service personality. What are you created to solve? Once
Mm,
those three are already clarified, when you have clarity, then you cannot be looking for this house personality.
mm,
Getting the right house will not be an issue. Even if you must wait till you are 40, it is better you wait till you are 40 to get the right person that you journey through purpose than to marry at 25, 30. Because everybody is settling to get married because that is the in thing, because you're under pressure. You are just like
mm.
an exceeding great family that does not have the life in it.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's I like that because you said you must understand yourself. You must find purpose. I love that. You must find purpose before you even find a spouse. Wow, because then you understand what you're looking for. It's like going to the shop and not knowing what you want to buy. You don't go to any store, you go to a grocery shop when what you're actually looking for is a chair. So I like the fact that what you said, that you must first of all know your purpose, before looking for any spouse or anything there. And we're still going to go into the question that, because some people are already married. This is for the singles, but some are already married. So I'm going to the next question. Are there pointers to help one? You know, are there pointers to help one to be aware of the compatibility in marriage? Because sometimes you've already gotten into the marriage. What are the red flags, you know, that you find before and also when you're already in the marriage? Because sometimes some people have not found purpose before they got into marriage, they're already in marriage. How do we how can you help with the compatibility, you know, of
Compatibility.
purpose, yeah, of purpose within that marriage for those that are already in marriage? What are the red flags that you can look for those that are not yet in marriage? And what are the red flags when you are seeing them in the marriage that you are in at the moment? How do we marry that together?
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's start with the singles. Let's start with the singles. For the singles, the like it's still linked to the previous one. If
Mm,
you don't understand what you are looking for, you may not understand the red flag you check out for. But the first journey is that number one, you must be able to love with your head and with your heart to identify the red flag. When you love with your heart alone, it's not easy to identify the red flag. But when you now love with your head and your heart, the heart love is what will make you emotionally connected. If you are somebody that you love guys that are 6 foot tall, there's nothing wrong with it. If you love guys that are fair, there's nothing wrong with it. If you love guys or ladies that have beautiful nails, fingernails and toenails, we have things that turn us on. So the heart love is talking about those things that turn us on because we are also emotional beings. We are spiritual beings, we are emotional beings. So what do yourself a favor if you are single by making sure you have the appropriate blend of your heart love and your head love. The head love is the kind of love that you have that will make you think deeply. That despite what you're saying emotionally, all I felt saying then when we now come to the head love, what will the head love make you do? I've told you that there is nothing wrong with having the heart love. It will make you
mm,
get attracted. But the head love is where the work is. As a single, what you are seeing in terms of the character of the person, whether it's the lady or the guy, take the good traits that you are saying, put it on one side. What's the proportion? What's the percentage? Compare with the bad traits that you're not okay with. Again, the bad, what you consider the bad trait may not be bad to someone else. But as long as it is bad to you, it is worth your observation. So when you get the bad traits, you still have to divide into two. What is the percentage of that aspect of the bad trait that you can live with? What is the percentage of that aspect of the bad trait that when you wake up every day, 365 days a year, times 50 something years, 60 something years, 70 something years that you use in marriage, you'll be having headache. You want to cause the day you met him or her. What is the percentage of that bad trait? Compare with the percentage of the good trait. Then you know you now have three. The good side, the bad side you can live with. That in case he or she does not change, because nobody can change anybody. You don't go into marriage believing that he will change or she will change. That's that he has revealed to you. That's that she has revealed to you. That's that you are seeing your reality, your present reality. If he does not change to forever, if she does not change to forever, can you cope? Will you be happy still? Then you appraise yourself. When you now appraise yourself, if the one that you cannot live with is more, that is the proportion of the red flag that you need to begin to consider. Then is it worth risking your entire life for it, despite the fact that you are emotionally attached or you are emotionally, you have the emotional brain life. But it's better you have more of logical brain life so that you can think deeply. As I'm talking to you, I have a less than 6 month wedding marriage that's just packed up or that is about to pack up. We are talking of. And these are we have many cases that these are the things that also have happened to a single. For singles, your courtship period is a period that you should be able to look at these together, check out the red flag. What are his values? What are our values? What does it talk about when it comes to children? If the children don't come, does it behave like if it's telling you that okay, oh, my mother said that I must get married because she wants to carry the children. I've seen virgins that did not give birth for the first 10 years of their marriage. What if the children don't come immediately? It could be a red flag. What are the self-sabotaging patterns we say? What is his anger proportion? What is our anger proportion? Does he have somebody that he honors or respects? Those are the questions you should be asking. Who is that person that you really value in your life? It's because it is dangerous when you are going out or when you are in courtship, especially with the guy and even with the lady that does not have anybody you honor or respect. You are in trouble. So there are many red flags. So those are the ways you can identify the red flags for the singles. So let's move to the married. They're already living, they're already facing their demons, or their
Every
demons are
day.
already facing them in the marriage.
Every
And I
day.
trust God, yes, that God in His mercies will give you healing, will give you a solution to whatever has demonized your marriage in the name of Jesus. Remember, the greatest demon in marriage is ignorance. In fact, the greatest demon anywhere. Let's not be looking for two horns, a demon that is two horns. The greatest demon in ignorance is ignorance. So you need to find out your state as a couple. Are you an ignorant couple? Are you an arrogant couple? It's one thing to be ignorant, and you didn't know. Many people just ignorantly went into marriage, and they didn't seek for counsel, no professional counseling, nothing, and things started happening. So how do we move forward? The first thing is that you're already married. God that can restore foundation without removing the building can restore and redeem that marriage. if the two of you are willing. So the first thing is communicate, sit together, share your realities. We call something for the ones of time. I have a butterfly graph that will draw. There are three decisions that people will have to take that they realize that they are losing it in marriage. The first decision is to allow the marriage, watch your marriage break down until you begin to ask for separation or divorce. But that's not God's plan for you. That's the first decision. When people see their realities, they begin to plot a new draft. But they see their realities without paying attention, without doing things intentionally. And eventually that marriage will die. But the second one is those are the people that after they start, their situation becomes static. They are trapped in that marriage. Nothing is moving. They are seeing the red flags. They have decided to live in their pains and with their pains. So that graph is linear. It's showing that like the Yoruba is what in Bakamu, that I'm here, I'm not going out. Yet they are in pain. They are seeing the red flag, they're not taking any decision anymore. But the top graph is a vertical graph, we call it the infinite graph, that you now decide that I am taking the bull by the horn. This is my marriage, I must fight for it. And if you're fighting for it, you must start with you. What are you willing to do? What price are you willing to pay? The first thing is prayers are very potent, extremely potent. Start with prayers. But the kind of prayer God wants us to do is instructional prayer. When you now begin to pray, engage professional counselors. Don't go around to people that will generalize the challenge of your marriage. Because you may go to someone and say, submit as a woman. And I keep saying submission is a relative statement. Because what submission means to A is not what it means to B. So go to a professional counselor that would use the professional tools. And sincerely, from my experience, those where professional counseling works, it works like almost 95 to 98%. Because what do we do in professional counseling? We just X-ray, we give you our psychometric assessment forms, you fill them, it brings your emotional X-ray and the emotional X-ray of your spouse. And what we have seen is that there could be personality differences. All you need to know is that what's your personality combination, what's the personality combination of your spouse. Perhaps the two of you have a personality that is argumentative. Then you should now begin to learn communication skills. If you have argumentative personality, because two wrongs can never make a right. So you now need how to, it depends on what you're saying, the scorecard. You might probably tell you go for communication skills and relationship management, patience management, and all kinds of things. It depends on what your scorecard brings out. Then the law code will come out also. Because we've seen that in marriage, one of the things that also causes status is that our primary and secondary languages, love languages could differ. While a husband's primary language may be the language that is the least to the wife, it happens. When the husband's highest love language is the wife's lowest language. So the wife may not pay attention to what really means a lot to the husband, and vice versa. But when we show you all this on your scorecard, it does not stop there. What we expect you to do is that what has been recommended, you begin to work at it. The same way you work on your career, the same way you work on your business. If your counselor advises you and you don't take the advice, nothing changes. Even God, no matter what you pray, you must start. It must start with it. The Bible says, if my people are willing and obedient, there must be willingness and there must be obedience. It's not enough for pressure to take you to a place of prayer or a pressure to take you to a place of the counselor. But the moment God tells you that do this, and the counselor also backs it up that from the professional angle, This is what we've seen. And you don't do it, nothing will change. And God is not at fault. So those are the things. When you see the red flags, many things can be resolved within the marriage. Just look at it as this same demand that your spouse is requesting from you. If your boss in the office has the similar character that your spouse has, and your appraisal lies with your boss, your destiny, financial destiny lies with your boss, will you bulge? Of course, you will bulge. If you are chasing a contract, the same character in your wife or your husband is displayed by the person that your business life lies on.
Mm. Mm.
You will not even know you are working on anything because
Yeah.
of the money you want to make or the salary you want to make. How much more somebody wants to spend your entire life and you
Wow.
can work with your salary? That all the
Mm.
money you have put when your marriage or your home is not at rest, that money means nothing to you, means nothing to your children. And that money you will be using it to visit the hospital because many of the illnesses we have, they come from at least up to 70 or 80% of it comes from
So,
emotional sickness. Why don't we
mm.
deal with things that will make emotional that will guarantee your emotional health so that you
Yeah.
spend your money in the work wisely. So let me
Wow.
stop there.
Wow, I like the bits, and I think it's also part of, getting used to one each other and just taking one for granted, because I wouldn't have ever thought it like the way you said that if your boss in the office would not budge. I used to have a boss a very long time ago, and I remember when she first got into, I was working with different kind of bosses, and it was so funny. So the first boss that I had then, once it's 4 p.m. He doesn't want anybody staying late at work. So he wants everybody to be out of the bank by 5. He doesn't believe in staying long. And because a lot of us were young then, it was like, if you spend all your time here, when do you want to meet somebody? So I grew up in that kind of environment that once it's that time, everybody needs to get out. Then I got another boss that if she doesn't leave the office, nobody leaves. And she will not start checking her email. She will not start checking her email until 6 p.m.
It's as if you're talking about my former boss in the bank.
Exactly. She will not start checking her
Honestly,
email on the so, but we all have to adapt. And I like what you said in that comparison. You do everything because that is tied to your
ah,
financial,
yes,
what you're going to get at the end of the month. So sometimes, a lot of times, we look at the other person and we don't want to shift base because we are thinking, oh, but it's this person. But at the same time, we shift for our bosses because we know our financial gain is tied to that. And I really like that, because I wouldn't have thought of it like that. But that's a very, very good one. And
absolutely.
even in terms of even the way we communicate sometimes, we give leverage sometimes to people like that, rather than that partner, like you said, that we want to spend the rest of our life with. Wow, wow, wow. I like that. I like that. So, Pastor Nick, I was just also going to ask, before marriage, a lot of people do have expectation as an individual. So, especially for the ladies, you think, oh, once you get into the marriage, you're thinking of the marriage, the wedding, the clothes, everything all there. But as you get into marriage, as you get into, because of our background, everybody has different expectation, background, culture, and things like that. But we know that unmet expectations can lead to anger, resentment, and all those kind of things. So, what are I know you've mentioned a few, but what are those practical things to deal with expectations? Because we find out that when you're dealing with couples and in marriage, find out that the main issue there is expectation. So, how do we deal with expectation, and how do we best communicate this? This either before, but now I think we should focus on the married one now. How do we best deal with communicating expectation, when we are already in it already? I know some people will just say, oh, just talk about it. But we find out that if it's just talking about it, that means a lot of marriage will not end up in divorce, because we find out that a lot of it is all about expectation. So, how do we tackle, or how do we best communicate unmet expectation from both parties? How do we do that? What is the
All
right
right, thank
way?
you so much. Thank you so much. And I'll start with the Amos 3. I love the message Bible. It says, can two people can two people go to the same destination without working hand in hand? Can two people, can we, can two people agree? You get it. But message doesn't say without working hand in hand.
Hmm.
So there is an agreement whether support, communication, or unfair. You get it. And I love to make analysis um, that what normally causes the next expectation is something you let the single know that your time of courtship is the time to begin to settle that. If you know that you are going to make another person's daughter resign from the highly paid job because of the children are very important. You need to talk about it now. So that it's not going to get married, it's deprive her of her purpose. Because many times, for some people, the job does not only give them money. I've seen people that the purpose, the fact that they are going out for them is more important than the money they are making. The fact that they are solving that particular problem is more important than how much they are making, at least for a start. So you may have all the money, and it's not the money that is driving your life. And the same thing as a wife, understand the purpose of where your husband is to be is driving up. And in courtship, you're going to things you should be discussing much more than talking about going to do flowers, going on and all those open they are beautiful, but they may not be a priority. Open requests, will you marry me and all that. Because I realized that they are the overt story and the common story. The overt story about marriage is Nike weds Shola, you get it. Bumi weds Ade, Amaka weds Nneka, Mary weds Joseph. But the cover story might be Mary weds ATM machine. Mary is getting married to Joseph. I'm telling you. Mary is getting married to Joseph because Joseph is loaded.
Hmm.
And the cover story of Joseph may be Mary weds who?
Hmm.
I mean, Joseph weds who? And Mary may be wearing pointy heels to work
Hmm.
while Joseph met her in courtship. They will stop by at the beach, take the evening breeze, probably on the island. But the cover story of Joseph is that he prioritizes a cook than being a wife. But they are not saying
Hmm.
it. Those are the beginning of next expectation. Such that when Mary gets to Joseph's house, despite the fact that Mary has to go to work, she must still be saddled with the responsibility of cooking bread every day. Because the cover story of Joseph is that I must eat bread every day.
Hmm.
And another cover story may be King weds green card. And when the king crosses over, because he saw that there is a lady abroad that has a green card, I love you, I love you. And the moment it crosses over, purpose has been accomplished. But
Hmm.
that's not similar to the purpose of the lady. And the guy will now begin to see the 6 tires on the waist of the lady after he has achieved green card. The covered story is the green card. The overt story is that king wants to marry the queen. So with all these things, unmet expectations will well up. It will well up if you don't understand the what, the why. How will be a difficult thing to accomplish. So when unmet expectations has welled up in marriage, the first thing is to discuss. But I must tell you, at that level, it is not a given anymore.
Hmm.
It's not a given. If you are lucky that you have an you was not ignorant, or you was not ignorant, talking about it, they will want to change, they will be more intentional. They see that I'm sorry, okay, let's work it out. But if it is an arrogant spouse, there is little or nothing to do than to go back to God. God have mercy on me. I've made a mistake. But the Bible says the heart of the king is in the hands of God. You direct them to wherever you wish. So whether it is your husband or your wife, on that matter that is causing your mental expectation, he or she is a king in that matter. Submit his heart to God. Knowing that you have messed up, you have missed. Is that why you settled with the wrong person? Or you settled with the person you did not discuss the purpose with? So at that point, the journey might be easy. But we will not also say that there have been some that the journey has not been easy. That number three to do, while you are engaged in all sorts and you are still disappointed, you will now have to learn emotional disappointment, emotional detachment. Like one of my pastors will say, now you will get life they also. No marriage will be a couple that is bearing any destiny. So when you get to that toughest situation, that you have tried everything you know, then you need to know that you are a human being and you deserve to live with marriage or without marriage. So in that marriage, you can still tackle your met expectation. You just go back to the drawing board and know that there is nothing that can happen. And you begin to work on yourself, begin a journey of an actually we are supposed to be thinking even in a marriage. We are individuals. God, when we get to heaven, God will not say, husband and wife, come and talk to me. And God has made it so easy that the moment life has got, you are going to face Him alone, not with your husband, not with your wife. So you have to chase that journey of purpose, that seed of purpose. Must not even marriage to be able to take it away from you. It could be distractive, it could be there could be a lot of challenges, but ultimately at that point you must learn emotional detachment so that you now begin to run and pray that he or she catches the fire. But if he or she does not catch the fire, you have to fulfill purpose.
Mm. Wow, wow. I like that. Whether he or she catches the fire, you must fulfill purpose because that's what you're called to do. And
Yeah.
I like, I like that, while you were speaking, one of the things that came to me was that scripture that says, and it's also one of the things I like, naked but yet not ashamed. In terms of
Mm.
unmet expectation, if before you get into courtship or into marriage, we have a lot. But I think one of the best prayers that we can pray is God should reveal some expectations to us, you know, before we get into it. That God, please reveal some of this unknown expectation that this person might have. Can you please reveal them to me? Because there's like, I like the overt and the covert one because it's so important. Overtly, that's what you're saying that this person is married, but inwardly, the other person has another, I don't want to call it agenda, but that's the same thing. It's another agenda that they have. But it's only God that can reveal these things to us sometimes, and it's better. And I like the way you said it's better for us to do it, especially for those people that are either waiting or in relationship or waiting to actually pray that prayer that God, please, and it's for both parties, not for either a man or a woman. God, please expose some things that I need to know about this person to me. Open my eyes that I might see, because sometimes we can see those things, but at the same time, because of love, because of other things, we are not seeing those other things. And like you began with, and we said the most important thing is finding purpose. When we find purpose, when you're already in purpose, it helps you see some things clearly. But when you're not in purpose, you just think, oh, it's all about love and all that. But sometimes it's more like that, because unmet expectation has destroyed a lot. And you find out that when you begin to talk, either party cannot explain what's going on. But when you dig deeper, that's when you find out that, okay, this person wants to go to New York. The other person wants to go to Africa on a mission. And you're wondering, didn't you guys discuss it? You know,
Honestly, it feels like
and
things
this
have
is
been
like,
very
oh, but I expect that he should know. I expect that she should know, and it doesn't work like that. So I really, really like what you said about that, knowing that these expectations are there and asking God to reveal them to us so that then we understand them and we can work with them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So
So can I say something on that
yes, please.
asking God? You know, the
Mhm.
I remember
Yeah.
when, thank God, husband is come home with it. I remember when I started praying for marital partner. I thought to myself that me, you are doing it. No, my husband is in Lagos. I want a blow. I want a hey, you know.
You don't
But
want a
when
brother.
I got born again, I want a set guy, a bumper. Somebody that is already a bumper. Someone, one thing that helped me, now, I think you remember what my husband looked like then, not now. Now is the bumper I love, with my
You want the
afro and
now.
the party, and not now. And then I'll tell the single, get the raw material, get the raw material. Don't settle for finished products. Because you may not know the content that was used to control the finished
That's
product.
true. That's true.
So, then when we were praying, I remember in the church at home, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be praying to the God, please, I cannot afford to mix it in marriage. You know who I am, you know, I don't want to sacrifice any of my purpose. You know the character you've given unto me. Please give me a man that understands me. Give me a man that will appreciate the character you've given to me. And I'll tell God, I said, God, since these are the prayers I pray. I don't want to know whether it's tall or short, fat, thin, like that. All I want is that I want a man that truly loves you. Because
Mm.
when you love you truly, you will not find it difficult loving me. You will
That's
not
it.
find it difficult nurturing me.
Mm.
But my sister, believe me, when the report card of my prayer showed up, I ran away. I ran away
Mm.
because physically, it didn't look like what my emotional totally wanted.
Mm.
But spiritually, God has dealt with me because I even get dots on plenty. Then I said three things I asked God. The second one was I want the entire family. I just don't want them to come from a Christian family. I want them to be truly born again. God answered it. They were all truly born again. I know. I said, God, I don't mind. I don't mind an engineer, but I think God gave me that icing so
Mm.
that I will be able to know that He truly answered my prayer. Because
Mm.
all the three things I asked for, God gave me. But I did not just like the package as the Lagos did. So when He came, I ran away. I ran
Mm.
away. Because we have been praying that He used to tell him everything,
Mm.
I'll tell him this person came to ask me, and this person. In fact, there was no funny thing I did. One of the times I was still struggling to say yes. I knew he had some character I really loved. He would help the sisters carry the bucket of water in school. And one day I was watching him from afar. He was a hall pastor in the church. And I saw him help sisters carry bags. And I said, God, this character in the life of Brother Razak, I saw it in the life of my future husband in Jesus' name. As I'm
Wow.
talking to you, I can still remember that spot in your shaking that I made that prayer. I can still remember how I was looking at him. God was just looking at me. But what did I get out of this? Spiritually, I have
Mm.
settled something.
Wow.
And up till now, even when I was in the bank, I wanted to resign. My husband said, no, I want my wife to be the MD. I want my wife, he's not intimidated.
Mm.
I can travel anywhere for my business. I have a business partner that is a male. We go almost everywhere. We travel to Abuja, travel deep, so many places. My husband doesn't, he has never asked me for one. I know I'm a natural leader. But if I was married to somebody I intimidated, purpose has finished.
Mm. Mm.
It has been to MRS. Three words, three letters, MRS has carried out the purpose. Put it in the
Mm.
purpose.
Wow. Mm. Wow.
The Lord will help us. None
Wow.
of us, the marriages of our singles will be buried inside. None of their couple will be buried in marriage. In Jesus'
Mm.
name.
Amen. 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 Wow. 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 I like that because sometimes, and we need to look be like I used to say, we need to look beyond the person. Because even our purpose sometimes does not come in the casing that we want. Because God does not show us everything at once. It just gives us a glimpse. It gives us a glimpse. So we can't be caught up with, the kissing. We must keep our eyes on God Himself, on God to help us see beyond what other people cannot see. Because God can be saying, "Oh, this is what I have for you." You must be able to trust Him in this journey. That's if you want purpose plus your marriage or plus your relationship. If you don't want purpose with it, you can go the other way. But if you want God involved in it, you must be able to trust Him and look and wait upon Him to be able to say, "It's not what I want, actually. I want what you want." And I think for me, that's the most important questions, that anybody can ask. So I was also going to ask you, what does emotional bonding mean? And how can we achieve 100% emotional bonding without losing our individuality? Because we find out that sometimes this emotional bonding is not there. It seems as if it's there, but emotionally you are not, or maybe I've not seen a lot that you can literally feel what the other person is feeling. You can really, do you understand? You're ready, you know that you are bonded. So how can we achieve 100% emotional bonding without losing our individuality and our purpose? That's the main one. How do we do that in marriage?
That's
And also in courtship also.
thank you so much. That's um, it's a lot of work.
Hmm.
It's a lot of work because after the butterflies have flown away, with all the feelings of situation, feeling the business, feeling the work again. Until we see marriage as a purpose or a purpose carrier, we may not be able to do that. And that's why the first thing to do to bond emotionally is to develop friendship. Friendship is very key. Get things that bring you together more than things that set you apart.
Hmm.
Very, very important. We have to get things that bring us together. And it still falls down to how intentional we have become. I often say that there is no
Hmm.
good or bad marriage. There is no good or bad marriage.
Hmm.
You can only have ignorant people, arrogant people, arrogantly ignorant people, or intentional people doing marriage goodly or badly.
Hmm.
So in part of being intentional is to look for we call it in professional counseling, you look for the mumu button that appeals to your spouse. That is how to, and that in that balance brings us how to feel our love tank. We need to learn how to feel the love tanks of each other. Because once the love tank is filled by you, and permit me to say that either carelessly or ignorantly or even intentionally, somebody else can fill your love tank.
Oh.
Forget it. If there is not about anointing, it is you that will have work to do. Because in my own way of generating emotional bank account, my own way, the realm way of emotional bank account is if anybody wants to deposit money in your account, can they be stopped? Once they have your account number,
No.
they, they can't be stopped.
Hmm.
No matter the amount, they can deposit money countless times. There is
Hmm.
no maximum amount they can deposit. Once they have your account number, but if you want to withdraw, can the person just go back to the bank? I'm sorry, I just paid this money. I was not meant to pay it. Please let me withdraw. Can it happen? It
No.
cannot happen. As
No.
much as it cannot happen, that you are the only person aside the bank that can withdraw. It shows that anytime you are so sorely broke that you need money and somebody suddenly pays into your account, you cherish that person forever.
Hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You will never forget the person. So that's your account number that anybody can have to deposit money into. Is that your mumu button that any spouse must not trivialize the mumu button of their partner? Because when they are dry, any opportunity, whether it is their own will or
mm,
not, that makes everybody deposit, it
mm,
could be very dangerous. In the first instance, they could be resistant, but at some point, their conscious resistance might be bypassed such that emotional affairs begin. And that is why if you ask anybody that is already involved in emotional affairs, they never plan it to happen.
mm,
Before their very eyes, it became uncontrollable because someone else is filling their emotional bank account other than their spouse. So we must learn that code. What is that account number? What is that specific code that can make you activate your spouse's account number account such that you consistently deposit money there? So that when it is time for your spouse to withdraw, they will withdraw that love, they will withdraw that patience, they will withdraw that peace. I tell people that Queen Vashti lost her position as a queen because her husband demanded for her to fill his emotional account. Her husband's act and love code was act of service. He wanted to showcase his queen. He wanted Queen Vashti to serve the watching guests that
mm,
have my wife beautiful. His love code was act of service. Queen Vashti's love code was quality time. Queen Vashti wanted her husband to be with her. That
mm,
this guy, you have done 3 whole years celebrating, partying as a king. You now declared extra 7 days in the palace. I don't
mm,
want to see a king. I want to see my husband.
mm,
When they gave Queen Vashti that instruction that the king was looking for you, Queen Vashti's emotional tank was low. She wanted emotional bonding.
mm,
The king was busy, and that was why I guess she must have snapped back, according to that scripture in the book of Esther.
mm.
And the king also wanted a service, and that marriage ended. That marriage ended.
Wow.
So that is how to feel each other's emotional. Know your spouse's new body. That thing he or she clearly desired. And finally, on that, how do you know the new body? Whatever your spouse commend you for or on that you do this and say, it's the Lord you gave me this. So I love this. Don't take it for granted.
Mm,
Note that. Then whatever he or she complains about, those two things are key. Whatever your spouse commends you for and whatever he or she complains about will give you a pointer to how you can bond. But the moment you see the complaint as nagging, you have lost him or her emotionally.
ah.
But don't ever see it as a nag. See it as a complaint coming from a dissatisfied customer, like the brand will say.
Wow, wow, wow. I like that. I really like that because I was going to when you said, "Oh, make sure that you know the button." I was going to say, "Okay, maybe I'll start writing a survey. I'll send a survey out. Please fill the survey. Where is your button? Because I don't know."
Yes, so where's your mumu button? Where's your mumu button?
I like the fact that you said, "Oh, what he commends you on, and also what he appreciates
Don't
you or
complain.
complains about." And I like the fact that you said that don't see it as nagging because a lot of us ladies or men sometimes we see, oh, they've said it several times, and we see it as nagging without being objective or having the right perspective to be able to say, okay, I'm also guilty about it. So I'm not just going to say, oh, other people. I'm also guilty because sometimes, because of my personality, I'm one way, I'm wrong if I believe that that's the way it's supposed to be. But maybe taking some time back to just step back and say, okay, what does this actually mean? What do I need to look deeper in this complaint, you know, or even some people that says I cannot change, there's nothing I can do about it. But to every one of us
Yeah.
listening, they're saying that we should not look at it as nagging, we should look at it as a dissatisfied customer wanting something, you know, and that's so important because and I think we started with that because sometimes if we don't take this spouse for granted and look at it and take it back to the office scenario, will be more patient to be able to say, what is this customer complaining about? What does this customer like? To be able to give the customer the right service that they need. So I think if we step back sometimes and just look at this person, whether he or she, as that customer that we need to please, and once we please this person, we'll be able to get that award. I think a lot of things will change. So I need to start seeing this person as that king. Customer is king. I start seeing that
Yes.
person as a king. As a king, I'm conscious of the time, but I'm also going to ask this question. Okay. One of the things that, because I have a group for matured singles also, and widows and things like that, that they're also wanting to get married and get settled. But one of the questions I get asked, at this period is with this lockdown and things that we have, how do people get to meet each other? How do we get single people? I think it's different from the other way or things that we know that people know that we're used to, that you get to meet people in this era that we actually get to meet people in this era that people get to even I don't even know how people do it nowadays. So how do we cope?
Socialization is gold.
Exactly. So how do we get people to meet each other? Because I have a lot of people that are single on this side. I wish I have other people that I can connect them to, to be able to. How do people meet people in this era that we are in? And what does dating look like now in this pandemic and this lockdown? What is your thought on that? Because it's so much burdensome for me when I think about when I look at this thing. I'm like, they hardly go out, they hardly meet people. How do they get to meet each other? So what's your view on that? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Global system has changed forever.
Yeah.
The global system has changed forever. The time is changed. And I remember many of 2 years ago, I found out the lady, I think I got from the beautiful, pretty lady, well mannered, and financially she was doing well. And I was one of those people that asked her, because after all said and done, she was really eager to get married. But I asked her 3 questions. Like, she should give me a list of where she visits regularly.
Mm,
And he told me he visits the bank and all that. And I realized that places she visits regularly, places she visits regularly, and in conjunction with the environment she stays, are not places that you can find young people. And perhaps that might have been what slowed her down getting a
mm,
spouse. But I realized that from like about that happened about 2 years and some months ago. And now, like you said, there is no physical, there is a little or no physical gathering.
mm,
So that points us to the fact that nobody, a lot of things have to be done systemically.
mm,
It must be system based. And like my coach would say, if you are tribeless in this particular
mm,
space in our global life, what do I mean by being tribeless? If you do not have a community that can serve your interests, those people are actually truly challenged. I want to use aggressive.
mm,
They are actually truly challenged. Why
mm,
do I say that? There are much more pressure now confronting marriage and family life. There is economic pressure, there is a lot of psychological pressure here and there, there is the technological pressure. So getting into the real thing is
mm,
one thing for you to even have a community and recognize it. Another thing you will do is that the community you have must not be just anyhow community like they are doing super doing this together. They are just attaching you because you saw you are short and you know that you are or younger. He's a
Mm.
Christian, you are a Christian, and all that. No, far beyond that, because pressure brings content. When other external pressures begin to come in, the
Mm.
content of that person shows up. And remember, you never knew each other. So for those that are coming into, if you are going into matchmaking or you are introducing people, you are now introducing people that are barely strangers. So professionalism in what you do matters. So if you're in a community that you don't have professional counselors that have track records of what they are doing, that also have other connections,
Mm.
that they are also working with other communities to serve you, you are becoming an endangered species. Because the best that can happen, ever happen, is you meet somebody and you are not even sure of
Mm.
what will happen eventually. And that's taking a risk on your marriage and couple. So it's gonna what I would advise is for them, thank God you have your community, I have my community. For those that are still of age, they need a healthy community, a community that can
Mm.
serve them, and a community that is also linked to other communities for the sake of their purpose, such that they won't just land with anything in trousers or anything in shirt as the case may be.
Wow, wow, wow. I like that. So if you're listening to us, and I keep saying that I don't think at this point, I know God can do it. You can meet people, but really, I'm a testimony, I'm an evidence, of people saying, "Shay, yeah, I think this person would fit you. I think this person," and I'm privileged to be part of that, and I feel that in this environment where we are now, and with technology, we do actually need that, right? We do actually need that community. We do actually need people that can see beyond what you're saying. Initially, when like Pastor Nick, they're professional, and they can do, check some things and be okay. I can see that because sometimes you might not see. Sometimes the person might not even be in the circle. I remember there was somebody that I had in mind, and there's a particular lady. There's a particular lady that was, and they were in different community. She was in the other place, and I was, I was kind of in the middle. I knew her from this side, and I also need this person from this side, and I also need another person that was connected to the guy. So I was telling the guy, "Oh, I have somebody. Tell me more about this person. Tell me more about this person, so that we can get them together. To be able to do that." And sometimes you need to be able to get people like that can see and know, and before it gets to you, they will have done all the streaming, all the little things that you cannot that I like what you said, that it will save you time, because like in that instance, what I've done is I've called the person that I know knows this person very well. We've asked ourselves questions. We've gotten details about the lady. We've gotten details about the boys. We've eliminated some things. We're like, oh no, this is not a good time to introduce them. Let's give them from 6 months to see whether they are balancing whatever
Yeah,
they are doing before we bring them together. We've seen one when we are told, oh, this one has children. With this one, oh no, let's look for another one. Oh, this one needs to develop more spiritually before we can introduce them,
yeah,
because we don't want to introduce people that are not spiritually strong. So they're helping eliminating some things, some time wasters and your life. And don't
yeah,
forget what I say. Things that save you time saves you life. So you need that
absolutely.
community. You need to be able to, you know, get into that tribe. And also, one of the things also that tribe does, and which I wanted to quickly talk about, is when you get into that tribe and people that can help you, they can be able to help you with the principles of distance relationship,
Yeah,
of what it means to engage in a distant relationship, in a virtual relationship, the way we are now. Because there are some principles that will make it work, there are some principles that will not make it work. And the question is, do you know it? Some people do not know it. So you need to be able to get into this tribe, to be able to know what to watch out for and what not to avoid. I was talking to a lady, is a very young lady. I won't say she's a young lady, she's one of the people that I call my daughter. And she was like, oh, Sasha, I don't like all this online dating, because it's as if, this particular app, because it's as if everybody is desperate. If you say no, they'll go to the next one and say yes. If the other one does not go yes. They would do that. But she was like, it's so funny to me because that's the world we live in right now. But don't waste your time. Trust God. Remember what we said. The most ultimate thing is putting your eyes on that ball, which is Jesus. Looking on,
Honestly,
it would connect. You might not know, you might be busy serving your purpose, you might be busy doing what you are doing, but he is busy engaging some, like this story of this lady that I told you. She had no clue to today that we were doing research behind the back. John, she has no clue. The only question I ask her is, are you open to anything at this point?
yeah,
So you might be busy doing what you are doing while some people are busy praying and doing all the questioning.
in
Why?
fact,
Because your eyes is fixed on the goal.
yeah,
Yeah.
that reminds me. When you talk about online dating, and all, I've seen a lot of sites. Quite realistically, they're doing good job. But when you're talking of them, things that have to be all the Christian, and I'm not, I just although we have all great counseling, professional counseling, and I will tell our clients, we have a Jesus who counsel you from that angle, even professionally. We advise you to subscribe to him. If you don't, it's a choice. But marriage is universal.
Mm,
Marriage is universal. Whether you are Christian or not, you should be married. But we only tell you from our own perspective how our Jesus has helped you. So when if you are a Christian, you also have to be careful of those
mm,
just don't jump on any side because they may not share the values that will keep you your purpose. It's
mm.
very important. Because
Yeah.
as counselors that are involved in match managing or match finding or match making, there is a professional angle, but most importantly, there is a spiritual angle. I can tell you this. And we have seen this work for us. We talked about the lady that was just doing her own. We had a situation like that. We had a great testimony. She was not serving God, and we introduced we proposed someone to her. And she was carried away at that point by emotions.
Mm,
But the logic was suspended. A logical reason was other ladies or sisters to introduce to this brother. But I was restrained in my spirit not to. In fact, one was even saying almost, I was always saying that every week, and I was restrained. There was no release in my spirit. Even though when the lady, at that time she was 46, and she was like, this man, what was it was physical. But I knew what we saw because we walked by
mm.
the spirit.
That's it.
I think a week or two after, she ran to me. Said, yeah, 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 yeah. I had a dream. I had a dream. She was just shouting that she saw me going to her parents and me. She saw me going to her father's home. I never met her parents. I don't even know where their house is. That in that she saw me going to her father's room. I uprooted something. And all through, I didn't tell her anything. That in that dream, she saw I was angry. And physically, when she said no, I was literally angry that at 46, this goodly man and godly man and godly in the nation will die in death. And you're saying no? Okay. I was really angry with her. But I did not, because marital decisions are very, very, one has to be very careful. You don't, as counselors, you can only suggest. You don't you don't choose for people. You allow them to take their decision. And so I respected and honored that decision. So I could not even react, I could not say anything. But in that dream, she said I was angry with her. I did not say a word to her. I just went into her father's room. I uprooted something and I left. She followed me. She met my husband outside. And my husband looked at her and we didn't utter a word in that dream. It was at that point I realized that
I think we lost her again. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you. I'm sure you're having a swell moment. I am. There's just a lot, a lot of gems that is being dropped, as we are discussing. And it's so important, that we do it right on this journey of purpose. On this journey of purpose, it's so, so important that we are able to fulfill our life destiny with the right person, with the right partner, with the right journey, with the right, tools to be able to go through our journey in life. So whatever we do, whether you are you're looking for that partner, or you're in courtship, or you're married, or you're whatever, there's just so much to take away, that you must think that the number of lifetime that you spend with this person is so much, and you must be able to do it well. Do it well. Some of the things that we've talked about is, make sure you find purpose before you find partner. And you can only find purpose when you know God, when you are sure of what you want to do. You've tested that purpose, you've tested that dream, and you're ready to go all out for it. And of course, if you're married and you're still having one issue or the other, and maybe you've not you didn't know about all these principles, seek professional help. Pastor Nika she's a professional marriage counselor. She does post-marriage and pre-marriage counseling. If you need to please reach her. Once she comes back, I think is the network, she will give her details where you can reach. Seek professional help, so that then you're not just second guessing yourself or thinking, oh, this is what I need to do. Get help. And I like what she said also. She said, are you an ignorant couple, or are you an arrogant couple? Make sure that you're neither. You are not ignorant because you do not know and you don't want to know. And you are not also arrogant because you are just that I don't want to know. Be in that position. And she also told us that you can either do something, or decide to stay in your pain, or decide to do something about it. So do something about it. And in doing something about it, that's where you find purpose, because you will know definitely that this is what God has sent you to do. Yes, you're back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, to the glory of God, they are married now. And they are
Wow.
really enjoying it. So that's a spiritual aspect
Aspect,
to,
yeah.
to it. Even when we look at it professionally, we also need to look at it spiritually. So
Yeah.
if you are in a community and you as Christian, the Bible says the deep calleth into the deep.
The depth, yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. So
Yes.
does the countenance of one man sharpen another. So you find your life. Even in finding your life, you want to know what's your value, what's your spiritual value, what's even your denominational priorities. It's
Yeah.
not every Christian that is equal to the other Christian. Even in the same church, it's not every child of God that is Christian. You may vary in purpose. Not
Mm.
that he or she is good or bad, but you are not heading towards the same direction. It will not work. So even in that form of that demon chaser brother or sister, you must also find out in terms of purpose. It may not be 100%, but you are tending towards the same direction. All these things matter, especially when they are like of age, you need to really, you need the help of the right
Yeah.
community. That's the best.
You need that right community. I cannot we can I don't I think if there's one of the things that we can leave, for anyone here that is not married, is that you need that right community. And I think you need that community now, most importantly, because the everything about life has changed. We're in lockdown, we work from home, we do meetings from home. So if we don't have that community, how do you onboarding? How do you stop yourself being depressed? How do you stop yourself from feeling bad, from feeling unwanted? Even when there was no lockdown and we were meeting each other, you're still feeling that, oh, nobody's looking at me, nobody's saying hello. Now that we are all at home, we all need a godly community. We all need that community,
Yeah.
and that's the most important thing, because, like Pastor Nika said, there's a lot of community out there that you don't want to get yourself entangled with. You need that tribe, that godly community, to be able to usher you and prevent you from mistake. Because sometimes you might be making a mistake and you do not know, but somebody will just pick it in your community. I don't think this is right, and because of that, they will save you a life journey and life purpose. So that's so important. So I think we're rounding up, just a few questions. Sorry, we took some more time, like we expected. How can people find you? Because I know you do post, and I know you also do speak. How can people find you to be able to reach out to you? And we're having some discussion also about, you mentioned that marriage, about that 6 month old, and a lot of people when they're married, they find it sometimes so difficult explaining the issues they are going through until when things become really worse. You know, we don't want people finding themselves in that environment. We don't want people living things until when things are terrible. So how can they reach you? Because you are certified, you have all the professional, whatever there. So how can they reach you to be able to find help so that you can help you and your husband? Because I know that that's your ministry. So how can they find you?
Yeah, you can reach us on our Facebook page, Realm, Realm, that's the relationship essential and life matter. You can see the banner behind
Yeah.
the realm. That's the short form. So we have a page. You can just type it in and take us to a page. You can also reach us on Instagram. We have two pages at time actually on Instagram. We are just gradually growing the realm page. But we have, as a matter of fact, like we talked about the post wedding. So we have the post wedding counselor. Once you start the post-wedding counseling, take up for Instagram page. You can also be on the lookout for the realm page because we started majorly as a post-wedding counseling because that was the passion that we realized that many people they are quick, even as pastors, they are so quick to counsel during the pre-wedding counseling, either for the real reason or because it's one of the conditions in
Hmm.
any church before the wedding. So we are not
Hmm.
sure whether we are concentrating on the wedding, which is the glamour, or the marriage, which is where the glory of purpose lies. So we
Hmm.
realize that there are few counselors that really take time to um, to make themselves available for couples immediately after their wedding. And the major storm in marriage happens within the first 5 years.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
started with the post-wedding counseling. So you can get us on that on IT as well. Thank you.
Wow, that's so important. Uh, Remember, we don't plan for the wedding, we plan for the marriage. We plan for the marriage. You know, some of us were privileged to have good counseling before, but like you said, a lot of people are not privileged, maybe because of time. They don't have time and they'll just do 1 week before the wedding and all that. No,
Yeah,
seek knowledge, seek knowledge. The Bible says, in the midst of counselor, there's safety. So seek knowledge. If you don't have, the ability or something or that privilege to have that intense in knowledge before, then go for it immediately after and pay for it. Pay for your knowledge.
yeah.
Pay for it.
Pay for it.
I asked her, oh, I've got some couples, they want to do this, that they're whatever is not providing. Would you be able to provide me help with this one? And I'll direct them to her. So make sure that you pay for it. It's just like seeking medical help, just like they'll tell you, go and get some medical results about yourself. So seek information, seek education, seek help, seek to excavate some hidden things about your partner before you start discovering it by yourself and having headaches and crying and praying way before all those things. And then because you are prepared, then you have a soft landing, to rest on. So, for everyone that's joined us today, this is our special Valentine edition where we are talking about marriage, single, and things like that we have discussed. Today's episode has really, 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 really been great. It's important that we learn. It's important that we constantly learn. It's important that we reach out to people that we can help, so that then we can grow and become a better person. Because that's all what finding purpose is all about. We find purpose. When we find purpose, we invest in how our purpose will be better. Because the better we become, the better our purpose will become. The better community will build, the better people will be able to reach out to. So let's just improve ourselves more, 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 whether in our relationship, whether in our whatever. We just need to improve ourselves in finding purpose. So Pastor Nika, what's your last word for all the viewers that have joined us today?
Yeah, thank you. So my last word is keep doing marriage rightly because marriage ultimately is what is happening eternally, but not with you and your spouse, but together with all of us, with God, because there is a marriage with the Lamb.
Hmm.
But if you are not getting it rightly, It may be your marriage may be something that can truncate your eternity. It may, if there is no forgiveness, because
Mm.
unforgiveness and bitterness must have well. And when that happens, it affects your purpose and it ultimately has the capacity to take eternity away from you. So please get on the drawing board. Don't wait for who to start first. You listening to us, you are the first person to start. If you are in that marriage that is challenged. And if you are having a wonderful time, keep the ball rolling, become mentors to others because we need to sanitize our world
Mhm.
when our marriages are sane. Thank you.
Mhm. Wow. Wow, thank you so much. So, on behalf of everybody, your drum rolls, your emojis, just to say thank you so much for for having you tonight. Thank you, and I want to say thank you also for what you do with your husband and to the number of youths that you've been able to help. With speaking, with helping. It's a lot of work. I can't imagine working with 20 youths, not to talk of 120 parishes, dealing with their problem. But like you said, our world needs more people to be able to give back and help and be mentored. So thank you to Pastor and to yourself also for all you do. And we pray, that the Lord will continue to increase you and increase your ministry and lift up your hand. So on behalf of everyone here, we want to say thank you to you. We celebrate you really, really well. We celebrate you. And for all our viewers, we celebrate you for always joining us on our episode on Finding Purpose. This show comes in every twice a month, Wednesdays twice a month, where we talk about practical issues, finding purpose, whether in our pain or finding purpose in our life to be able to implement all that God has given to us. And like for everyone that's been watching us, our mantra on this show is the whole world is waiting for the manifestations of the sons of God. The whole world is waiting for your manifestation. So go out there and manifest and fulfill all that God has given to you. My name is Seyi-Oyedeji. I'm your usual host. I host you, I smile, I dance to help you and bring out the purpose that God has put in you. And until we meet again, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And we'll meet the next time. Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Bye.